Our English muffins are square, and so giving this extra cut really helps sharpen that squared off edge. So there's my scrap dough. This dough is quite soft, so I could cut it into strips and turn it into a different product. We've made garlic knots from English muffin dough before. So for that, I would just tie some form of a knot and tray that up, maybe top it with some garlic butter, bake it. You could do it with some herbs as well to bring some flavor. And so there's not a whole lot of reason to allow this perfectly good dough to go to waste. And even with the muffins, it looks like 2 rows that will end up being too narrow. I could recover those narrow rows with a scrap product. And I personally prefer doing that kind of a thing than selling substandard English muffins that are one of our staple products, and people expect them to come in a particular way, at a particular quality range. So I want to get that product right. This one, I'm going to combine a few strips and make a more complicated knot because I want them to be more or less the same size. This one came out smaller than the rest because I didn't do that. I'm happy to be reaching a phase of the bakery where we can once again go back to some of these areas of opportunity in our bakery where we're otherwise throwing away dough and doing something with it, because it takes a little bit of extra effort and an extra intention, and when you have a lot to do, it's harder to justify that extra effort and intention. And yet when you're in a project mind, you can say, okay, this is going to be something we take on, and by taking on this project, we're going to end up saving X amounts of kilos of dough a week per month, and creating another line of revenue for ourselves. They're a substantial amount, and they don't have to cost a lot. They can still be extremely tasty. Might even need a full sheet tray for these. Now I'm just envisioning a very simple garlic butter to put atop of this, but you could go as deep into that flavoring as you'd like. You can create some, you can salt the finished product for some more flavor, but the dough itself is going to be nice, and it'll end up looking like an interesting product. I'll add it to the proof that we have going right now. Making the butter will not be an issue. I just found a bunch of garlic. So my goal is just simply melt some butter, mince some garlic, infuse the now butter in its liquid form with that garlic, and then brush that onto the rolls before baking them. I can also finish them with a little bit of salt, and that will be a nice add. I don't think I need this whole amount of butter for what's not very many. And for that amount of knots, I really think that 2 of these will be sufficient. I'll just transfer this to a safe vessel and bring it up front. When I'm done, I'll grab some salt as well. And so once I spread this on the rolls, I can also throw some salt on them. Now I think that we could make a stronger garlic butter with a longer and slower infusion time with heat for future versions of this product when it's not just a test to prove a concept. I think it would make a lot of sense to allow a bunch of butter to simmer with garlic for a while and really make sure the 2 combine well. I'm sure we'll get enough of a sense of it here, but it's nice to do things really, really well whenever possible. And so if this is to become a product, this garlic knot, it should be done as well as we possibly can. There's no functional advantage to this fast method of making a quick garlic spread if you're making it regularly in large quantities. You might as well do it all the way really, really well as you know how, and find the efficiency in the bulk processing. All right, here we go. Just give it a nice brushing with the garlic oil. So I don't want to shy away from this minced garlic and getting it spread out here. Again, if I had a longer infusion time for these, I wouldn't necessarily care to be doing this. But given that I whipped this garlic butter together really quickly, putting these bits of minced garlic on to each of these knots, I think will be a positive thing. Just need to set it at 375 degrees, which is relatively low. And it's already nearly there, it's 340. It's gonna warm up really quickly. And generally this oven does, it's just a few minutes. So as soon as this one comes up to temp, we'll load up the garlic knots. Let's load our knots. Today I'll put them on a 12-minute timer to start with a closed damper and just a few seconds of steam. I don't think the steam is critical for this particular product. I think they'd probably be fine without it, but I also don't think that it will hurt. And it will certainly make them look a little more shiny. Meanwhile, the garlic knots have gotten some rise in the oven. Some of the ones are looking really nice. It was such a simple shaping, just literally tying a simple knot. And then even the ones that were a little scrappy, they look very interesting now. So what was just some scrap dough has turned into kind of an interesting looking product. And otherwise, it would just go right in the wastebasket. So the thing is, it's great dough. It's fermented. It was mixed yesterday like all the other dough, and it still amounts to a decent sized roll. It should command the same value as an individual English muffin or greater, even though it's made of this scrap end. So, you know, you have, I don't know, 9 plus 15, 21 rolls that you can sell here at a little bit of a cost. So in just 2 minutes, my timer will go off here and I'll just release steam and try to get these to a golden brown color. They've definitely risen all they're probably going to rise at this point. They're actually pretty large as knots. I feel pretty comfortable even hastening this a little bit. So all I'll do is open the vent here. It's a 1 minute timer. And I'll reset this for 5 minutes at least without steam and judge by color. Once the color reaches what I want, I'll just quickly temperature probe, make sure that I've got a full bake on the inside, and then we can pull them out. So right now there's 1 minute left on this timer, but I'm just noticing that the products themselves haven't fully reached the color I want. I think 2 more minutes will be appropriate and we'll have a better overall golden brown. All right, so we just had the timer go off on these, and I don't want them to be too dark. I'm pretty happy overall with the color, so long as they temp high enough, which I imagine they will. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're hidden in the 200s, so this is a fully baked product. But it's still light enough in color that it should retain a certain softness that you want from something like a knot. They look pretty attractive. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily take this product and think that I'm, eating some form of scrap, but it just looks like it'd be intentionally made. I think the shaping could be refined a little bit. The way that you put the knots together on the tray could be refined. But the whole point of this was just to show, don't let these things go to waste. They could be valuable. Smells garlicky. Excited to try it in a little while. Ready to trial these knots. So on the inside, they're still nice and soft, and I think that's one of the benefits. The garlic is subtle in this approach. Might benefit this product to have a little bit of garlic powder along with it to bring the garlic flavor through more, or a longer infusion time. But it's delightful. The texture is right. I'm very happy with it.